welcome to Yoga with Stephanie. Today we're going to focus on some core work and maybe work a little booty into the picture, which Anna is super excited about. My cats are a little spastic today, so you'll have to bear with me. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead. Bringing the palms together. Exhale, bringing the hands to the heart, nice and slow. Inhale, lift the arms up as you feel the lungs to full capacity. Exhale, draw the arms closer to the heart. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Release both fingertips to the ground and do shoulder circles, moving backwards and forwards. A lot of us are holding a lot of tension in our shoulders and our neck right now, being quarantined into our house. So just nice movements, shaking off any feelings of stress or anxiety, maybe even adding a shaking motion with your hands. Anna's still trying to wake up. And then bring the fingertips back to the ground. Walk the right hand over to the right side. Keep the right shoulder away from the right ear. Left hand comes up overhead. Then reach over to the right side as far as you can with keeping your chest open to the ceiling. So if you start to feel yourself close off, I'd rather you come up higher, keep the chest open. Both hands come back up overhead. Release the hands back to the ground. Walk the left hand away from the right. Right hand comes up overhead. Then reach over to the left side. Both hands back through center. Go ahead and release. Bring your chin to your chest and gaze towards the ceiling. Chin to chest. Gaze towards the ceiling. One more time, chin to chest. Gaze towards the ceiling. Go ahead and pull yourself forward, coming into tabletop. So if you're like me, go ahead and get into tabletop, baby girl. Knees underneath hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingertips far apart, and then begin to move through cat and cow pose as we warm up. So on your inhale, drop the belly button, or go into cat first. Rounding through the shoulders. Now, cow pose. Beautiful. Good job, baby girl. Keep doing that, Anna, moving through cat and cow at your own pace. So for this practice, we're going to use some hand weights. If you don't have a hand weight, just grab anything heavy, maybe even a canned good. I have a weighted ball for Anna and a block if you have it. If not, maybe just a book. Everybody's making do with what we have right now because I never use a 5-pound hand weight. Generally, when I do this routine, I would have a weight in each hand, but I like to work with lighter weights. So I am only using one weight today. So we just have to make adjustments and do the best that we can with the situation that we have. Make sure you have your drink. And I like to grab a blanket for my knees when I'm in tabletop position because I have a hardwood floor and it makes it difficult to, I don't like knee pain at all. So go ahead and come into a neutral table. Anna, I am going to face the opposite direction, and you can do either way. You can face the camera, or you can stay the way that you are. So in a neutral tabletop position, we're going to extend the right leg back behind you. Point the right toes. Left arm comes forward. Now when you're here, the left hip usually wants to come out to the left side. You want to pull it in, hug it in nice and tight. Now, go ahead and move the elbow to the knee, hugging the knee in nice and tight, and then release, slow, using control, not momentum. 2 more times. And then hold. In the perfect world, I could do yoga without putting a ponytail in my hair. It's just not gonna happen. Bring the left arm out to the left side. Right arm comes out to the right side, or right leg rather. Release the right foot all the way to the ground. Bring both hands up overhead. Reach over to the right side. Now here, bring the heel to the ground, toes pointed towards the ceiling, reaching over to the right side. 5 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both hands up overhead. Curl the back toes under. And go ahead and lower the hips towards the back heel, nice and slow. Bring the elbows in towards the rib cage and then rise. Again, lower and rise. One more time, lower and rise. Reach over to the right side again. 5 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both hands come up overhead. Release the hands back to the mat. Bring the inside of the right foot to the floor and lift the right leg up overhead, coming directly out of the hip preferably. Keep the foot flexed. Go ahead and hug the left hip in if it's splayed out to the side. 5 little pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release the right leg all the way back, point the toes. Release the right foot to the mat, come up onto the heel or the fists and press the heel back. Little rocks here. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring both knees to the mat, curl both toes under, stretching out the back of the feet. Stack the shoulders up over the hips and open the arms out to T. So open the arms out to T, there you go. Now squeeze your shoulder blades together. There you go, nice, good heart opener. A lot of us are sitting on the couch watching more TV than normal, so we want to try to open up through the chest as much as we can. So keep it there. And really, that's just a trick to get you to stretch out your feet a little bit. Go ahead and come back to tabletop. Left leg lifts behind you. Right arm comes forward. Again, check in with this hip. Maybe hold hands to the person in front of you. 3, elbow to knee. Then right arm comes out to the right side. Left leg comes over towards the left. Slowly lower. Lift. Come up to the heel, toes pointing towards the ceiling, both hands up overhead. Reach over to the left side. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both hands up overhead. Curl the back toes under. Go ahead and lower the hips to the heel. Nice and slow. And lift, lower, lift, lower. Last one, lift. Reach over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both hands come up overhead. Release the toes. Come back to the ground. The inside of the left foot shifts to the floor and then lift the left leg out towards the side. The cats are excited. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release the left leg behind you and go ahead and make your way to the mat. Setting up for downward facing dog. Anna, go ahead and bring your hands, fingertips a little bit wider apart. There you go. Curl the back toes under you. Lift the knees, shift the hips up and back. So ideally, you'd be making an upside down V shape. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. The ears should be somewhat into alignment with the biceps, but you want the hips pressing up towards the ceiling and back towards the back of the mat. Doesn't matter how bent the knees are. Now, bring your chin to your chest. Pull yourself forward, coming into plank pose. Nice and strong here. Ideally, hands are underneath the shoulders. You pull the belly button in towards the spine, shift the heels to the back of the mat. Very strong here, not limp, strong. Moving through the wave. Remember the wave? Now, okay, you bend the knees, press back, and pull yourself forward. So if you watch the knees here, we're making a circular pattern, moving through downward facing dog back into plank. Three more. And then hold back in plank pose. Release to the knees. And then onto the forearms. Interlace the hands. Curl the toes under. come into forearm plank. So here in forearm plank, look at me. Lift up, there you go. You want to tip your hips, tick-tock, side to side. Anna's thinking, why did I say okay at this? And then pause. Now, walk your feet forward, coming into dolphin pose. Shift the chest towards the back of the mat. Beautiful. See if you can shift your hips up towards the ceiling a little more. Bend the knees. There you go. Taking 5 dolphin to tricep push-ups. Pull your head forward to the fists and then press back, dolphin pose. 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one. Go ahead and release to the knees. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes under, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, point the right toes. Hug the knee into the chest, shift the shoulders, coming forward into plank, holding that knee nice and tight. See if you can pull the knee up a little closer, there you go. And then back, 3-legged dog. Right knee to the right elbow, coming back into plank pose, and then back, 3-legged dog. This time, right knee to the left elbow. 3-legged dog. Open up the hip. Bring the right foot back to the ground. Left leg lifts, point the left toes. Hug the left knee into the chest, shift the shoulders, plank pose. 3-legged dog. Left knee, left elbow, plank pose. 3-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow. 3-legged dog. Open up the hip. And release the right foot to the mat. Walk the feet forward, coming into ragdoll. So in ragdoll, I like to bend the knees pretty deep here. Melt the belly to the thigh. Clasp opposite elbows. Allow the head to come into alignment with the mat. And just sway side to side. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Fingertips come to the mat. For this first rising motion, I want you to rotate out the wrists, letting go of any pressure that you feel, and slowly unravel all the way to standing. Bring the arms up overhead. Now exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, hands come to the shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Continue, inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and fold. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. I find myself doing this a lot right now when I feel stressed or overwhelmed. I'll just begin to move my body in the sequence, focusing on just my breath and the movement, and letting go of some of the anxiety that I feel. We're going to go ahead and fold one more time. Now plant your hands, step back into plank pose. Take the feet out a little bit wider than normal, the hands out a little bit wider as well. Tap the right hand to the left shoulder, left hand to the right shoulder. 5 taps on each side. Have you been counting? Okay. Now, tap the right foot over to the right, left foot over to the left. Again, 5 taps on each side. You've been counting? honey. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog, pedal out the knees. Right leg lifts. Hug the right knees into the chest. Shift the shoulders over the wrist and plant the right foot at the top of the mat. We're going to come into warrior two here. So go ahead and release the left heel to the back of the mat. Cartwheel the hands open, warrior two. So in warrior two, the front leg is pointing to the top of the mat and the back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. The hips are nice and stacked underneath the shoulders and the arms are open to T. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and breathe. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Think about the strength of a warrior. Take a couple more deep breaths here. There you go. Now release the left hand to either the back of the thigh or wrap around the small of the back. Reach the right hand forward and then overhead, maybe even a little bit behind you for exalted warrior. Then back to warrior two. And then come into your favorite version of extended side angle. Maybe the right forearm to the right thigh, left hand overhead, or maybe even reaching in front of you, or go down a little bit lower. Back to warrior two. Bring the hands to the heart. Pivot the right heel to where the toes are facing the front of the room. Now, ideally, we'd already have our weight here, but I didn't say that because my brain is all scattered right now because of the coronavirus. And I'm not in my usual frame of mind. Go ahead and get the weight ball, baby girl. And I'm gonna have you go closer to the left side so we can both be seen. So we're starting out in a goddess stance where the heels are in and the toes are out. And really, you'll have to just work with what feels right for your body. Ideally, the more the toes would be going over to the side, the better. Keep the hands at the heart. Like I said, I usually work with a smaller weight. This is a 5-pound weight. If I had my normal 2-pounders, I would have one in each hand. So you can do with whatever you have. Again, you can use 2 cans of food if you haven't ate them all already. Go ahead and bend the knees, coming into that goddess squat. 5 little pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straighten the legs, bring the arms up overhead. Now, lower the knees and bend the elbows, bringing the weight behind the head. Make sure you're not leaning forward here, you're still standing up nice and tall. Straighten the arms and the legs and lower. Good job. Four more. See, I don't count. Anna's calling me on it. 2 more, baby girl. Think about the Pop-Tarts we've been eating. And go ahead and pause. Bring the arms forward. Go ahead and bend the knees, coming back into that goddess squat. See if you can drop the hips a little lower. Then little sways from side to side. Straighten the legs, bring the arms up overhead. This time just 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bring the hands in front of you. Bring the weight into the chest. Hinge at the waist, coming into a halfway lift. Bring the heels behind the toes to where the feet are more in a parallel stance instead of the toes going out to the side. Keep the belly button pulled into the spine to protect the low back, and straighten the arms and lift. release the weight. Walk the hands over to the right side. Once you're here, bring the right heel behind the right toes pointing over towards the right side of the room. See if you can go a little bit lower and pulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk the hands over to the left side, bringing the right foot parallel to the short part of the mat, the left toes pointing over to the left side of the room, and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're actually going to stay here and come into warrior 2 on the opposite side. Cartwheel the arms open. Coming into warrior 2, nice and strong. First, look at your knee. So look at your left knee, Anna. I like to sometimes bring my thumbs to my thighs and pull my knee down. Keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. Gaze towards the left. Open up through the chest. Nice and strong here. Breathe. Release the right arm to either the thigh or around the small of the back. Reach forward with the left and then exalt your warrior. Open back up to warrior 2. Come into that extended side angle stretch with either the left forearm on the left thigh, right arm up overhead, or pressing towards the left, or maybe even drop a little bit lower. Open back up, warrior 2. Bring the hands to the heart. Shift that heel back, coming into goddess. Again, heels are in, toes are out. Bring the hands up overhead. This time, no weights. Elbows bent, knees are bent. Drop the booty. See if you can squeeze the chest or the shoulder blades together. So Anna, I want you to go ahead and straighten your legs and bring your heels. See how my feet are? There you go. Arms up overhead. Come back into goddess. So working a little bit with our core here, I'm actually going to come and stand on the side of Anna so you can see me a little bit better. So we're getting down into that goddess squat. Get as low as you can go. Bend the elbows. Now reach over to the right side. 5 little pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold. Back through center. On the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Back through center. Anna's probably wishing that she would have stayed in bed. Reach over to the right again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. See if you can lower the hips a little bit more. Back over to the right. Last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Back through center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Back through center. Bring the hands in front of you. Release the shoulders from the ears. Maybe little shoulder circles here. See if you can lower the booty. Then we're just going to sway from side to side. Are your legs burning? Bring the hands to the hips. And sway. This is payback for making me do TikToks. Sway in the hips. See if you can get the booty down a little bit lower. Bring the hands up overhead. Straighten the legs. Bring the hands to the heart. Heel toe the feet together. Great. Now, walk it out. Take a couple of deep breaths. She said I look like a jazz dancer. That's exactly what I was going for. So, a really good relaxing breathing technique we're going to do here. Bring the hands out to the side. So mountain pose, the hands are firmly rooted into the hands. See? We all need more yoga, right? Yes. Okay, the feet are the things on the ground. They're firmly rooted into the ground. The knees are stacked over the ankles, the hips over the knees, the shoulders over the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, hands facing the front of the room, and expand, taking up a little bit more space. Keep a slight bend in the knees. Now bring the arms up overhead. On the next exhale, we pull in. And inhale, lift. Exhale, close up. Inhale, open. Exhale, go inward. Inhale, expand. Again. One more time. And hold here. Wonderful. Release the hands. Come back to the mat. And I think I'm gonna share a little area here. So grab the ball. So grab the weight. Let's get up off your mat for a second. So I think everybody is becoming more grateful for the space that they normally practice in, because not having it has had to make us get creative, and I miss the quietness of a studio. I miss being able to see this isn't the adequate space to do this kind of thing, and although I'm very grateful to be doing yoga with Anna. So go ahead and set up for boat pose. So bring the feet to the ground, knees are bent. Have the weight next to you. Sit up nice and tall first. Now, instead of coming into boat pose, I want you to bring the heels to the edge of the mat. Feet are flexed. There you go. Now, bring the weight into your hand. Have the weight at the heart. Bring the weight up overhead. Release the weight to be about parallel with the shoulders. And then just slightly twist over to the right side. Pulse here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center, nice and slow, and then over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center, nice and slow. Over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. Why the face? Over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. Now bring the weight into the chest. Bring the feet closer together. Coming into boat pose. So you want to rock from side to side. You ground down through your sits bones. Lift the feet up. Pull in with your core like you're zipping up your pants or trying to pull your belly button in towards the spine. Lift the feet up off the mat. Smile. It's impossible to be in a boat and not smiling. This is the way you boat in quarantine. Not the boat. You'd rather be on a real boat, right? So go ahead and bring the hands with the weight over to the right side. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. Over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not usually playing footsie when I'm doing this. Go ahead and release the weight, and then the feet. Taking a nice little counter, wrapping the arms around the shins, bringing the forehead to the knees. Maybe even gentle rocks from side to side. And then release. So one of my favorite positions or exercises to do for the booty. I'm gonna bring the left leg parallel to the mat, flex the left foot. Bring the right knee parallel from the hip, and you're resting on the inner part of the right foot. Now my hardwood floor is tough, so I am booting the cats off their little pillows so I can use the blanket underneath that ankle. You're right. So sit up nice and tall. Ready? Now you're going to press into the inner arch of the right foot and lift the right knee and pulse. 1, 2. Actually, I'm not going to count. I just normally do it. Did you just say out? That's a little too high though. Slight movements here, there you go. And release the knee to the ground. Bring both hands up overhead. Reach over to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hands back up overhead. Release the fingers back to the ground. Press into the inner arch of that foot, lifting the right knee, and pulse. Lower. Bring the hands up overhead. Reach over to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the hands. Do it one more time. And pulse that knee. Anna's trying to keep me honest. Bring both hands up overhead as you release the knee. Reach over to the right side one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, bring the hands behind the glutes. Bring both heels to the front and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. The face that Anna's making at me is the face I make at her when she's trying to get me to learn new TikTok dances. Setting up for the other side. This time, the right leg is parallel to the edge of the mat. The left knee is coming out of the left hip, and the inner part of the left foot is resting on the ground. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe even give a little smile. Maybe not. Feel your feelings. Whatever you're feeling today is okay. Go ahead and press into the foot and lift the knee up off of the mat or the blanket and pulse. You can't do that leg? So I've done this exercise for a while. I found it because I was looking for ways to strengthen around my knees. And I have taken a couple trainings from a chiropractor who is also a yoga teacher. And this is what he suggests to build up the strength all around the knees. But as I continued to do this for the health of my knees, I noticed that my booty was changing. So that gave me more motivation to do it more often because you know when you're just trying to protect your knee, maybe you're not as motivated. But when I started to notice the line in my booty, started doing this a little bit more often. Go ahead and lower the knee, bring the hands up overhead. Reach over to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both hands back up overhead. Release the fingertips to the ground and pulse the knee. Don't do it if it hurts.
It doesn't hurt, I just can't do it.
It's okay. Just rest that side. And release. Bring both hands up overhead. Reach over to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release the hands back, lifting the knee again. I think all my cats have made an appearance today, haven't they? And release the knee. Bring the hands up overhead and reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Both hands up overhead. Bring the hands to the ground and then bring them behind the body. Both heels forward. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. You want to do anything else? We're done? All right, Anna says we're done. So come to easy seated pose. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Bring the thumbs up to the forehead. Repeat after me. I think thoughts of kindness, love, and safety. Then bring the thumbs to the mouth. I speak words of compassion, love, and grace. And then bring the thumbs to the heart. I love unconditionally. Together we say, Namaste. Now, if you would like to take a traditional Shavasana, I'm going to go ahead and have Anna lay down to show you what that pose looks like. Lay flat on your back. Bring the palms face up, squeeze the shoulder blades together just a little bit, and just try to relax the body as best you can. So I like to inhale through the nose, nice big breaths, feeling my rib cage rise on the inhales, and then exhale through my mouth. That's my preference. The whole time I'm in Shavasana, I think about my inhales aligning me with love and peace, and my exhales are letting go of fear or anything else I'm holding on to. Keep your eyes closed, relax your body.